Hey guys, welcome back. This is Cardinal Bird 5, and we're going to continue the series of pitching tips and introduction to each interface in MLB 16 The Show. Of course, we still have our 5 pitching interfaces I return, but I want to go over these, give you guys some pointers and some tips, and kind of give you my initial impressions. We still have the same 4, like I said, classic, pure, analog, pulse, and meter. And in this session, we're going to talk about pulse. We did classic last time. Some options with pulse, of course, you can do default or classic. I like classic because pulse was initially introduced in MLB 12, and I was a fan of it, so I like classic. I don't like the default. Totally preference, though. I'm going to keep it on classic. And that's really the only other option you have with this. And now we still have one Marichal Pitching. Same pitches. Like I said in the last video, he has good control, good walks per 9. And keep in mind, it doesn't really matter the pitch. The fastballs are generally, they're going to have better control of than the breaking balls, just how the game engine works. So let's just kind of show you guys. This is all-star pitching. Let's see how accurate we can be with the pulse compared to what we did in classic. Alright, so basically, to give you guys a rundown how pulse actually works, and then we'll start getting to a little more detail on the precision input. You basically see this pulsating circle. The goal is to minimize it as much as possible, and when you minimize it, the ball can go anywhere in that circle. So of course, the smaller the better. Now if I just leave it in the middle and I expand it anywhere, that means it can go anywhere, so that's bad. You don't know where it's going to go. See, I missed. Also, the better release you have, the more velo and break you can get. You can't really hold the button down to get more velo break. That's the thing about pulse pitching. So you want to try to minimize it as much as possible, and it should go anywhere in that pulsating circle once you have it minimized and you execute your input. Alright, so I think we got it pretty good there. Let's see where it goes. Alright, it was in that pulsating circle. Let's look at our feedback on the left hand side. I got a perfect pitch release. Now if we try a curveball, you see the pulse is a little bit bigger and it's going to be a little bit more difficult to minimize it as much as we did with the fastball anyways. Alright, you see it's already a little bit larger than the fastball pulse, but we still get it in that circle. So I think pulse is a little bit better this year, and I think I'm seeing a little bit more consistent results with it. But again, you're going to have to keep in mind that it really depends on pitchers. If you're using somebody like Nolan Ryan, the pulse is going to be a little bit more difficult to use because there's only so small it can get with certain pitchers. With the good pitchers with good control and walks per 9, it's excellent, and I think it can be used this year. I think it was unusable, honestly, the last few years unless you're just playing offline. I'm a big online guy, and it was just too inconsistent for me. Some other advantages, and I didn't talk about this for classic, but some other advantages is easier to hold the runners and do slide steps. You can hold L1 to do slide steps, and it just makes things easier because you don't have to worry about executing your interface while doing it. You pretty much select your interface or execute your interface and just hold L1. It's a lot easier to do than using meter analog, which take a little bit more timing and skill to use. Alright, so probably a lot of you guys are asking, especially something I was thinking about when I make these videos, is does precision input affect pulse? And the answer to that, I would say yes, it does. Like I said, I'm already seeing more consistent results, and the smaller you minimize it, the higher chance you'll get it within that area. You can't really pinpoint with pulse because even with the best pitchers, the pulse can only get so small. You're not really going to be able to pinpoint every single time, but it is what it is. I consider classic and pulse both low risk, low reward interfaces. They're not difficult to use, but however, you're not going to really be able to pinpoint exactly with them. But I think pulse is a little bit more consistent with classic. I'll show you guys a few more pitches here. And I will show you curveballs. Curveballs and sliders are going to be generally more difficult to control. Again, we see the larger pulsating circle. And let's see what we get on our release here. Okay, it hung up a little bit. Crawford caught it, but that's okay. And we got it doesn't say, but I think we got a pretty good release there, and it still was pretty large. So just keep that in mind. Sliders, breaking balls, even changeups will be a little bit more difficult to control. And something else before I end this video, something else that affects the control and how large the pulsating circle can get is how fast your pitcher throws. The harder he throws, the more difficult it is to control naturally in the game. This is how the gameplay engine works. But to summarize the video, precision input does have an impact on pulse, although it is very minimal, but I believe it is affected. And I think pulse is a good option to use this year. I would recommend trying out if you don't like analog or meter. and I'm going to get to meter and analog next, and I think meter is actually a little bit more difficult, so stay tuned for that video. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out my channel. It's Cardinal Bird 5. This is Cardinal Bird 5 signing out. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.